Hello and welcome to our weekly edition of A Message from the Rector, the Casual Edition. I read an article this past week that talked about gatherings. And this article said that we ought to think about the purpose of any particular gathering. Well, that got me to thinking. Why do we gather here at Nativity? Because after all, that's what we do here, isn't it? There are a number of reasons for gathering at any type of event. The first one that comes to mind is a sense of obligation. Well, I feel like I just need to be at such and such an event. I'm supposed to be there. And I will say this, if you come to Nativity on a Sunday morning or for any of our other gatherings solely out of a sense of obligation, well, I don't think that's a good reason. I think there needs to be something more that draws you to this place. Well, what's up? What's next? What's the next possible reason? How about entertainment? We go to concerts, we go to movies, we go to parties largely to be entertained, don't we? And quite frankly, I think that there ought to be an element of entertainment when we gather at Nativity. Now, notice I said an element. In other words, gathering here ought to be pleasurable. But ultimately, that's not the only reason to come to a Nativity gathering, is there? How about education? We go to lots of events to be educated. Often we feel like we need to be educated on this or that for our work or some other part of our lives. And I think that's important here at Nativity. I think we need to be educated on the Bible, educated on theology, educated on our sense of purpose. So that's an important aspect. Is that the only reason to come to Nativity, though? I'd say no. The fourth and final reason I can think of to gather is for nurture. Now, this is a somewhat amorphous term. What does it mean to be nurtured? Well, I think it means to be healed sometimes. I think it means to be given sustenance. It's something that nurturing is what makes us better than what we were before. And I hope that at any gathering here at Nativity, you get various parts of those three elements I just described: entertainment, education, and nurture. And that all brings me to some events we have coming up here at Nativity, which offer all of those, I think: entertainment, education, and nurture. The first is this Sunday before our nurturing 10:30 service and after our nurturing 8 o'clock service. We have a guest speaker. At 9:15, Edan Jiva will come to us. Edan is a citizen of Israel. His profession is leading folks like you and me on pilgrimages to the Holy Land. And Edan and I are working together to put together a pilgrimage next April. That's the April of 2024. He's come armed with a PowerPoint and a lot of information, a lot of entertainment, and some things that I think will feed our souls when we learn a little bit more about the Holy Land. Please make every effort to be here at 9:15 this Sunday. And then every Wednesday during the month of March, the 5 Wednesdays of Lent, if you will, we're having a series of speakers at 6 o'clock. We're returning to our education and supper series on Wednesday evenings. And the topic for those 5 Wednesdays will be evangelism. We're going to hear from pastors from different churches, some Episcopal, some not. We're even going to hear from a rabbi, all giving us their perspective, if you will, on evangelism. And of course, we'll have fantastic homemade food for each of those Wednesday evenings. So those two will offer entertainment, education, and nurture. Please join us.